don't open that chest.
The wind over Red Valley moaned like a restless ghost that never found its peace. Dust spiraled across the desolate plains, carrying whispers of forgotten crimes. And down that wind rode Jonas Creed, a rancher turned drifter, whose eyes had seen too much and whose heart trusted too little. He'd buried his wife 3 winters ago. The land took her. Fever finished her. And since then, the world had been nothing but fences, debts, and silence. But everything changed the night he walked into Tanner's saloon, chasing nothing but whiskey and sleep. Inside, laughter was loud, poker chips clicked, and the piano struggled against the noise. Jonas sat at the corner table, hat low, when an old man stumbled in, bleeding, gasping, clutching a rolled piece of rawhide to his chest. He fell right at Jonas's boots. "Don't touch that map," the man rasped, eyes wide as the moon. Then he went still. The saloon fell quiet. Even the piano froze mid-note. Jonas crouched, unrolled the rawhide, and saw something that made his pulse pound. A hand-drawn map, inked with blood-red markings, tracing a path through Devil's Canyon, a place every cowboy in 3 counties swore was cursed. Scrawled at the bottom, in trembling letters, "Buried under the bones of the righteous." Before Jonas could think, a woman's voice cut through the silence behind him. "Put that away, rancher. That map's already taken more lives than you can count." She stepped into the light, tall, striking, dust on her coat, eyes sharp as broken glass. Her name was May Archer, a bounty tracker with a reputation for getting what she came for. And judging by the pistol at her hip, she'd come for that map. Jonas studied her. "You knew this old man?" May's jaw clenched. "He was my father." The room shifted. Men whispered. The bartender froze mid-pour. Jonas set the map down slowly. "Then I reckon you'll want to explain why he died carrying it." May didn't answer. She glanced at the door. Shadows moved outside, boots crunching gravel. Jonas saw it too. "Dakota Ridge Gang," she hissed. "They've been trailing my father for weeks. They want the gold buried in Devil's Canyon, the Confederate payroll that vanished 20 years ago. You want to live? You ride with me, now." Gunfire cracked outside before he could reply. Windows shattered, glass rained. Men dove for cover. Jonas grabbed the old man's satchel, tucked the map inside, and followed May through the back door into the night. The alleys stank of gunpowder and smoke. May's horse, a black mare named Whisper, stamped and snorted. Jonas swung up onto his own roan gelding. Bullets hissed past their ears as they bolted down the dusty road, sparks flying from hooves. The Dakota gang was close behind, 3 riders, firing wild, shouting curses. Jonas aimed over his shoulder, squeezed off 2 rounds. One horse stumbled, another rider veered into a fence. By the time they reached the edge of Red Valley, the moon hung high and the gunfire had faded. They stopped near an old windmill. Jonas dismounted, panting. "You want to tell me what's going on before I end up full of lead?" May slid off her horse, eyes still scanning the horizon. "That map leads to something buried after the Civil War. Stolen gold meant for Confederate generals. My father helped hide it, then spent his life keeping others from finding it." Jonas frowned. "If it's cursed, like you said, why are you after it?" May hesitated. The wind carried her whisper. "Because they killed my brother for it." Jonas went silent. There was no sound except the creaking windmill and a coyote's distant cry. After a long pause, he said softly, "I buried someone too." She glanced up, studying the grief in his eyes. For the first time, her voice softened. then maybe you understand why I can't stop." The dawn crept over the plains. Far off, a dust trail twisted. The Dakota gang hadn't given up. May tucked the map inside her coat. "We ride at first light. Devil's Canyon is 2 days north through the ridge. If you're smart, you'll walk away now." Jonas spat into the dirt. "Smart's never been my strength." She smiled faintly. "Didn't figure it was." As the sun rose, the two unlikely riders turned toward the north, toward the canyon where gold, blood, and secrets waited beneath the bones of the righteous. If you're still listening, take a deep breath. Imagine that hot desert wind and the scent of gunpowder. Tell me in the comments where you're listening from and what time it is right now. And don't forget, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's waiting in Devil's Canyon. Because in the West, sometimes gold ain't the only thing buried deep. The wind howled low through Coyote Canyon, carrying with it the whispers of old bones and broken promises. By the time Cole Mathers and Eva Doone reached the edge of the cliffs, the moon had already climbed high, silver, cold, and watchful. Cole's horse, Dustfire, snorted, sensing danger ahead. The canyon stretched for miles, its walls like open jaws ready to swallow anyone foolish enough to ride through at night. "You sure this is the way?" Cole asked, tightening his grip on the reins. "If you trust the dead," Eva replied quietly. "This is where my father's trail ends." The canyon was infamous. Outlaws called it the Devil's Spine, a place where maps went blank and compasses spun wild. Cole had heard tales of men who rode in search of gold here and never came back. But tonight wasn't about courage, it was about answers. The ride begins. They pushed forward, hoofs echoing against the stone, the night alive with rustling shadows. A wolf howled far off, and the canyon answered back with a hollow cry. Cole kept glancing over his shoulder. He could feel it, the weight of unseen eyes. The Docket gang was out there, somewhere behind them. "Keep your head low," he muttered. "If they're following, they'll strike before dawn." "They already have," Eva whispered, holding up the torn edge of her saddlebag. "See that? It wasn't like that an hour ago." Someone had slit it open while they stopped for water. Cole cursed under his breath. They weren't just being followed, they were being hunted. The ambush. A shot cracked from the ridge, then another. Rocks shattered beside them. "Ride, Eva! Go!" Cole yelled, spurring Dustfire forward. The canyon erupted in chaos, bullets sparking off the stone, horses screaming. Cole turned and fired back into the darkness, muzzle flashes lighting the walls like lightning strikes. 3 riders emerged from the shadows, faces covered, guns drawn. The Docket brothers. They'd been tracking Eva ever since she took that blood-marked map from the sheriff's safe, and now they wanted it back. Cole fired again, dropping one of them clean off his horse, but another bullet grazed his arm, spinning him halfway in the saddle. Eva screamed his name, turned her horse, and rode straight into the line of fire. "Don't!" Cole shouted. "Keep going, damn it! Not without you!" The narrow pass. The canyon split into a narrow gorge, barely wide enough for 2 horses. Eva rode ahead, her lantern swinging wildly. The light cast moving ghosts across the stone walls. "This way!" she called. Cole followed, bleeding, gritting his teeth. Behind them, the Dockets were closing in. 3 riders now, their shadows stretching long. They thundered through the pass until the path opened into a hidden basin, a place carved by centuries of wind. And there, Under the pale glow of the moon stood something that made Cole's heart stop. An old church, buried halfway in rock, roof caved in, but still standing. The door hung open like a mouth gasping for air. "Your father's trail ends here?" Cole asked. "No," Eva said softly. "It begins here." Inside the church, they entered cautiously. The air was heavy with dust and secrets. Candles long burned out lay scattered on the floor. At the far end, behind the altar, something gleamed. A metal chest marked with the same blood-red symbol from the map. Eva fell to her knees. "He found it," she whispered, "after all these years." Cole approached slowly, brushing away the dirt. There were initials carved on the lid. J.D. "Your father's?" She nodded, tears streaking down her face. "He died here, alone, protecting this." Cole placed a hand on her shoulder. "Then let's make sure he didn't die for nothing." He pulled his knife, pried open the lock, and slowly lifted the lid. The hinges groaned like ghosts waking from sleep. Inside, not gold, not jewels, but bones. Eva's breath caught in her throat. "That's not possible." Cole's face hardened. "Your pa wasn't guarding treasure. He was guarding a secret." Something glinted between the bones. A silver locket. Cole picked it up and opened it. Inside was a photograph. Eva's mother, holding a baby. And beside her, "That's me," Eva whispered. "No," Cole said grimly. "That's him." The man standing beside her mother wasn't Eva's father. It was the docket leader, the same man hunting them now. A sharp whistle cut through the night. Outside, they froze. The gang had found them. "Time's up," Cole muttered, loading his revolver. "We can't fight them all," Eva said. "We just need to make 'em believe this treasure's worth dying for." Cole kicked the chest shut, tossed a stick of dynamite beside it, and pulled Eva behind the altar. The door burst open. 3 men stormed in, guns raised, and then, boom! The whole church shook as fire ripped through the air. The explosion hurled stone, wood, and memories into the night sky. When the dust settled, Cole and Eva crawled from the ruins. The docket gang was gone, buried under what they'd come to steal. Cole coughed, wincing. "You all right?" Eva nodded, clutching the locket to her chest. "I know what this means now," she said quietly. "He wasn't my father. All those years, Mama never told me." Sometimes truth's heavier than gold, and twice as dangerous. The wind kicked up dust around them, swirling through the canyon floor like restless spirits. They had one mark left on that cursed map, a red circle drawn in blood. The final destination, Blood Canyon. The last trail. By mid-morning, the land turned harsher. Ridges jagged like teeth, the air dry and cruel. Cole spotted vultures circling overhead. "Something's dying out here," he muttered, "or waiting to be found." They rode until the path disappeared beneath shifting sand. Cole climbed down, dusted off a half-buried stone, and frowned. Carved on the rock was a symbol, the same one from the chest. A snake eating its own tail. "I've seen that before," Cole said. "Where?" "On army documents back in the war. Stood for something secret, something powerful." Eva knelt, brushing sand away until the full carving appeared. Underneath, faint letters read, "The Order of the Vulture." Cole's eyes narrowed. "Your real father wasn't just an outlaw, Eva. He was part of something bigger." The hidden entrance. As they followed the carvings, the ground gave way to a crevice, narrow, steep, and dark as sin. Cole lit a lantern and peered inside. A hidden tunnel. "Treasure hunters never came this far," he said. "Too deep, too cursed." "Then it's ours to finish," Eva whispered. They stepped inside. The air was cold, thick with earth and memory. Symbols lined the walls, painted in dried blood. Cole stopped suddenly. Something gleamed in the dirt. A rusted rifle, still warm. He raised his gun instantly. "We ain't alone." From the shadows a voice echoed, deep, cracked, and familiar. "Took you long enough, girl?" Eva froze. The light fell on a man's face, scarred, older, but unmistakable. The docket leader. He wasn't dead. "You," Eva gasped, "you killed my mother." "No," he said, stepping closer. "I loved her. She died protecting what we found here, the gold, the truth, the blood we spilled to keep it." Cole cocked his revolver. "Truth don't mean much coming from a devil like you." "And yet you followed the same map. Guess that makes you just as dirty." He tossed something at Eva's feet. Another locket, cracked and old. Inside was a photograph. Cole's father.
"Your pa was one of us, Mathers, the Order of the Vulture. You're huntin' the same gold he died trying to steal." Cole's grip faltered. The ground felt like it shifted under him. All these years he'd thought his father was a ranch hand, an honest man. But now, "You're lyin'," he growled. "Am I?" The outlaw smirked. "Ask the map. Every mark you followed was his blood trail." The fight for the truth. Before another word, the cavern roared with gunfire. Bullets cracked off stone, lantern light flickered. Cole dove behind a rock, firing back. Eva crawled toward a ledge, clutching both lockets, one for truth, one for lies. Dust and smoke filled the air. The dark-it leader advanced, his boots echoing in the hollow chamber. "This place don't belong to you," Cole shouted. "It belongs to whoever survives," the outlaw roared. Cole's last bullet hit the lantern. Boom! Flames shot up the wall, lighting the cavern in gold and fire. And in that light they saw it. Piles of coins, bars, relics, the lost treasure of Blood Canyon. The gold shimmered like the sun had bleeded into the stone. Eva whispered, "He found it, after all." But the fire was spreading fast. The outlaw lunged, grabbing Eva by the throat. Cole fired once, twice, but the bullets ricocheted. The roof cracked, rocks falling around them. Eva drove her knee into his gut, broke free and shoved him backward, right into the collapsing wall. He screamed as the stones swallowed him whole. Cole grabbed her hand. "Come on, the tunnel's closin'." They ran as the cavern fell apart behind them. Gold, fire, and bones raining down like a storm from hell. At the mouth of the canyon, Cole turned back. He saw the flames bury the treasure forever. Eva dropped to her knees, tears cutting through the soot. "We came all this way for nothing," she whispered. Cole looked at her, soft, broken, alive. "No, we found something worth more." "What's that?" "Truth, and the chance to start again." Days later, they reached the town of Redstone Bluff. Cole's arm was stitched, Eva's face clean but scarred by smoke. They sold their horses and watched the sunset from the edge of the old trail. The map lay in Cole's hands, edges burned. He tore it in half and tossed it into the wind. "Let the past stay buried," he said. "And the gold?" Eva asked. "Gold's just metal, but what we got now, that's real." Eva smiled faintly, leaning her head on his shoulder. The wind carried off the last ashes of Blood Canyon, disappearing into the endless west. If you made it this far, partner, tip your hat, hit that subscribe, and tell me where you're listening from. Desert Plains, Mountain Ridge, or City Light. 'Cause stories like these, they ain't done yet.